Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Saratoga Racecourse here on Saturday. It's 27th of July, 2024. Gonna look at the stakes races on the program, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it, around the world. We're gonna look at the 6th and 10th race today from the spot, the Vanderbilt and the Jim Dandy, so some good racing here. Before I go any further, I would have looked at the whole card here for YouTube today, but at the risk of losing my voice, we're not going to be doing that. But today's first race is an incredible two-year-old turf route race, which I can predict you'll probably see some stakes quality horses coming out of this first race today. So that's what I want to mention first before we get to any of the other stakes action. So we're going to get to two races, 6 and 10 right now. Let's get to it. The 6th race from Saratoga. It is the Alfred G. Vanderbilt Handicap. It's a Grade 1 event going for a $350,000 purse. Races for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 6 horses going 1,200 meters or 6 furlongs on the main track. I'm going to take the 6-horse Skelly as a top selection. 6-4-1-5 in the superfecta. 6-4-1-5 super. Top selection 6-horse Skelly. This 5-year-old gelding by Practical Joke. Steve Asmussen trains. Ricardo Santana Jr. gets to mount. The horse's most recent outing came in the Aristides Stakes at Churchill. 6 furlongs to 1st June. He finished second by a length that day, and he just, was on the front end. He got overtaken late by the winner, who was the next out winner, I believe, in the Kelly's Landing at Churchill closing weekend, if I'm not mistaken. This horse just kind of, set the pace. He yielded late. What can you do? He ran his heart out that day. Biggest question with him is he loves running at Oaklawn. Can he run outside of Oaklawn? He ran a respectable race last time out. Coming back here off some decent runs, I'm going to give him, a shot to win here. This track is very speed favoring, especially in these sprint trips as recently. So you want a horse that's going to be forwardly paced. He ran in the Lake Hamilton at Oaklawn, 6 furlongs, 4th of May, and he won by 2 1/4 lengths with a 102 buyer that day. Wasn't the fastest buyer that day for a lifetime, but he flew on the front end, quickened up nicely, an all-around good race. And then the Count Fleet Handicap, sprint handicap at Oaklawn, 6 furlongs, 13th of April. Winning by 3 lengths, basically on the front end. He put on a show. 21-2, 43-4, 56, 108-4, 103 buyer. Again, not the fastest of his life, but he ran his heart out, and it was even more impressive with it being 6 weeks back from the Middle East, which is unheard of, horses coming from the Middle East and running a race like that 6 weeks later. Usually you have that bounce after going to Dubai or to Saudi Arabia, but for him to do that was quite impressive there. 6 weeks prior in the Riyadh dirt sprint at King Abdulaziz over the 6, he finished second by 1 1/4 lengths that day. Again, he just got overtaken before the wire, but he ran his heart out flying on the front end on that very deep course. And the King Cotton 2 weeks prior at Oaklawn, even more impressive to go over the 6. He won by 3 1/4 lengths with a tied career best 105 buyer. He flew on the front end. He likes Oaklawn. He's coming here to Saratoga for the first time. He is training well on this track. I'm going to give him a shot on the ticket. I think the 4-horse Baby Yoda, who loves this track, can find a trip to win. He freaked last time out. Wasn't as impressive at that 114 buyer that he had here a few years ago, but going in the True North over the 6.5, he won by half a dozen that day, and he basically stole this race. That was a very good tracking trip to win. Prior to that, in Opsal's 80 at Aqueduct over the 7, he won by a neck that day. And he abused a lot that day, but he got the job done. Finally coming back to some winning ways. His races last year, I thought he was just in the wrong spots, but he was running some good races in spots where I thought he was where he was keeping up with the decent horses. Like the race in Aqueduct in December wasn't bad for that place. And a decent third behind Nakatomi on this track on the slop last year. Back to 6. He could win. I would definitely use him on the ticket here at 7-2, but it's going to be a very good Vanderbilt. But to recap my selection for the 6 from Saratoga now, it's the Grade 1 Alfred G. Vanderbilt Handicap. Going to take the 6-horse Skelly. Give kudos to the 4's Baby Yoda. 6-4-1-5 super. 6-4 in the multi-race. Let's get to the big one today, the featured 10th race from Saratoga, local prep race for the Travers Stakes. It is the Jim Dandy Stakes. It's a Grade 2 event going for a $500,000 purse. Race for 3-year-olds here. Field of 6 horses going 1,800 meters or 1 lap around the main track, which is a 1.8 miles in circumference. I'm going to take a shot with the 5-horse Gould's Gold. 5-6-1-3 in the superfecta for me. 5-6-1-3 super. Top selection 5-horse Gould's Gold. This 3-year-old colt by Golden Sense. Kenneth McPeak trains. Brian Hernandez Jr. picks up the mount. The horse's most recent appearance came to the Ohio Derby at Thistle, 1.8 miles on the 22nd of June, and he finished second by 1 1/4 lengths that day. Battened down, really walked in the front and everything his own way. This horse, he sat back early. He really closed up into the pace. He got a career best 90 buyer. definitely on the improve. I think it was a half bad race. You have a lot of similar running types running in this race, which I think is going to suit up for a horse like this. You have a lot of horses that are used to getting on the front end by themselves and just plodding along. I think in this race, you're going to see a lot of these horses go not after each other. It's New York racing. They go 50 to the half and 52 in harness times in route races here. But I think you're going to see a lot of horses off their element here, and I think it's going to suit up towards a horse like this one that could gain a little bit ground here and find a trip to win from a little bit behind. He ran the Sir Barden at Pimlico on the mud, but Harrow going mile 16th, 18th of May. He finished second by a nose that day, and again, he had a wide trip. He sat back early dueling. He got the lead. He got overtaken at the wire, but he ran his heart out that day around 2 turns. And then the Bath House Row at Oaklawn over the mile 8th, 20th of April. He finished third by 4 lengths that day. Again, he was stupidly wide, but he was really closing up well behind Informed Patriot. Not the world's worst race in defeat there. And then he broke his main going 6th in the main special way to March at Oaklawn, winning by a head, closing up from nowhere. Probably not his preferred trip, but he still was a very good run. Like I said, I think he'll see a strong pace to close up into, and I think he's proven that he can run with this kind of running style, and you're going to see a lot of other horses in this race just, not having as easy leads as they have been getting in their previous races. And like I said, he's getting this race really well with the workout patterns, half mile in the Oklahoma training track in 47.3, the 4th best workout 58. Coming here today, I definitely think he has a chance to win. The 6-horse Fierceness, if you go by his running styles, he runs a good race, crap race, good crap. Ran a crap race in the Derby. He should be running a good race here today. His Derby race, he looked just, not getting out of the gate so clearly. He was wide, and he just never showed up that day. It was a very weird head-scratching race. When he shows up, though, he shows up. He showed up in the Florida Derby going a mile 8th at Gulfstream with a 110 buyer, winning by a baker's dozen that day. He basically won in hand. A very good run that day. And then a weird race in the Holy Bull where he just didn't show up. He didn't break so well, was wide, and he just didn't get into it. And then the Breeze Cup Juvenile closing up from mid-pack, a very good race. When you see some, some hostility in the gate, that's when he doesn't show up. So if he gets out of the gate clearly, I think he'll win. Also, I think he likes running in the smaller group of horses. He's only seeing 5 other horses here today. I think a wide poster is a benefit to him. He could definitely win. I'm going to use him on the ticket. If Sierra Leone could keep a straight course, this horse would have won the Derby and would have won the Belmont. Well, maybe not the Belmont, but he would have won the Derby. He finished second by a nose, really closing up well. And the Derby in the Belmont over this track, he didn't break so well, was drifting, and again, he just couldn't keep the straight course. He looks like he's a very hard horse to ride, but he won the Bluegrass in Presley. He won the Risen Star, closing up from nowhere, and his Remsen wasn't bad at all behind Dornoch that day. Training well since the last race. Like I said, if he could keep a straight course, he could win. I think his horse has serious ability here. And watch out for batting down. He's stepping up in some serious class here today. Another horse that's been on the improve, but every race he's won, he's had everything his own way in the front end. But it wouldn't surprise me 5-1 if they steal on the front end. This track is playing towards speed, so watch out. But to recap my selection for the 10th from Saratoga, now it's the Jim Dandy Stakes. Going to take the 5-horse Gould's Gold, give kudos to the 6-horse Fierceness, 5-6-1-3 Super, 5-6 in the multi-race. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck.